starting recording. Alright, we're in it. When last we left our heroes, you've been thrown into a closet, a small shelter on the side of the chief's house, and you are now all three lying in the dark.
I kicked the door.
You kick the door, and it reverberates softly, and its threshold, and it's a little shaky, and it goes whoa, 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 and then nothing happens.
I kick it again.
You kick it again, and it yields this time, and it breaks a little bit of the wood threshold, and then it slams forward into something, and there's like maybe 2 inches of clearance.
I shout at the top of my lungs, shit!
That's unbecoming of a young lady.
Fuck you.
Can we see anything through the opening?
You see lights. You see the shelter of the chief's house. It's well lit. It seems to have lit a fire. It's very orange on the other side, and you see like the back of a bookshelf or something.
Oh.
Like an armoire.
How much of the door is it covering? The doorway, rather.
The door. It's like it's not quite as tall as the door, but this thing is like fat and deep, so it doesn't yield as much as you would like to.
So we can't theoretically break the door in half over the top of it and climb over it?
No, it goes up about 80% of the height of the door. So I guess 80% is revealed to you, but...
Okay.
Oh, the sound of my dice clinging, I'm sure that's great for the audio. Oh, oof.
Can I roll like a persuasion?
Paint me a word picture, Aurelio.
Do I have to roll first?
No, you tell me what you want to do, or just start doing it, and then we'll decide along the way if a dice would be required.
To the door, and
I'm sorry, what do you do to the door? I didn't hear you.
I go up to it.
Okay.
I was away from the door, so I go up to it, and they say through the little bit of clearance or whatnot, Chief, listen, I promise we weren't here to do anything bad or unseemly or... I understand what you're feeling. I mean, all this new technology, and everyone's completely forgetting about the old ways. Most people here, you know, like
hear
you said,
floorboards like shift slightly, like creaking,
like I said, most people, you know, don't know how to fill water from an ox's blood, you know? I totally understand. I mean, you know, someone's gotta be able to teach these youngins the old ways, and how are they gonna learn how to get water from themselves if they've got these crazy machines doing it for them?
Alright, roll persuasion, and take advantage because you actually remembered some small things that the chief said.
I'd have to roll again because I don't have that whole automatic thing.
That's fine, yeah, it's for when it's like a stat check. Oof. Alright, yeah, you hear the big man come closer to the door, and like you can tell because like the floorboards are shifting underneath his weight. And you hear him like kind of like softly like breathing like
I just wanted to scare them, you know. I didn't think that they relied on them so heavily. I didn't know that the third one wasn't working. I didn't mean to cause a crisis. I wanted Salvador to have to call upon me or Rosemary or Gallon.
It's okay, big guy. That makes sense. I mean, I understand how you're feeling. It makes sense what you wanted to do, and I can see why you definitely would want to be more of a part of this community and have people know that you're there. You know all the old techniques. You're someone that they should be able to rely on. Have you ever thought about maybe starting like a community project, or you know, a kind of learning establishment of old techniques? You know, like a scouting thing, like taking young children and bringing them out into the wilderness, like not like a boys scout type of thing, but like a children's scout.
As he's like humming, you can like feel the entire like building like rumbling softly. Abram and Nix, do you guys have anything else that you wanted to be doing while this is happening?
Nyx has her forehead pressed against the door like, I'm locked in a closet. She doesn't say anything, but she's locked in a closet.
It just keeps happening.
It's just standing there. You can't see anything anymore.
Okay. If you guys were to speak up, there's a possibility of, like, adding on advantage and stuff like that. I'm not necessarily going to say it's necessary right now. I just wanted to let you guys know.
I was gonna say, it doesn't seem very necessary.
Yeah. Okay.
Leo's got this shit.
Oh, perhaps I never thought about that. I didn't think they'd listen to me if they didn't need me for something.
Oh, what are you talking about, Chief? Everyone that I've talked to in the town looks up to you as, you know, the most important man in this town. I mean, you keep everybody stable. You're the anchor. Of course they need you.
Oh, we got an 18 too.
Oh, I suppose. No, you're right, and it was foolish of me to have taken those compressors, but what do I do about it now? The damage is done.
I think me and Nix and Abram here can help you out. We can take these and, you know, put them off in the desert somewhere, you know, somewhere that we know where they are. And what we can do is we could say that, you know, you and me and Abram and Nix were, you know, traveling across the desert looking for these so that we could help the people, and you just spotted them. You and your tall frame, you could see them from miles away and
Roll
bring
persuasion.
them back. Okay.
Okay.
I got an 18.
No. I think the time for that has passed.
You guys hear a loud, like, screeching sound as the bookshelf armoire thing is slowly pushed aside. And then the door opens, and the big circular frame of the chief and his big bushy
I tumble
beard.
a little bit
You fall
because
in,
I'm leaning.
you fall face first into the chief, and his, like, stomach yields a little bit, and you, like, sink in. And then he, like,
I
sucks
get
in
up.
air real quickly, and then you, like, bounce out.
So I back up a little bit. Sorry, I was leaning against the door.
Come out.
Nyx gets out of the closet. I'm coming out of the closet, guys.
I'm proud of you. I follow Nix out.
Okay. You guys, you hear a beep outside. And then the chief goes into the closet. And he reaches down with one big burly arm and like wraps his hands around one of the pipes of the sides of the compressors, and he just yanks it up out of the ground. And then he reaches down with the other arm to it, and he just pulls up the other one, and they're like covered in dirt and sand, and they don't look good. And then he walks back over to you guys, and he holds out with the first compressor to Nyx, and he's holding it in one hand, but that is not, it's like the size of your torso. It's like a car engine.
Alright, I
Got this.
I'm going to try and take the compressor.
Okay. Your knees like compress underneath its weight, and like it's like an air conditioning unit, like the old-fashioned ones. It's like trying to carry one of those things, and like you barely can without having to like make a strength check. And it's just now in your grasp. And then he hands the other one to Abram or Aurelio, whoever is standing closest.
Abram.
Okay, he hands the other one to Abram. He just kind of like drops it in your not drops it. He like holds it out lovingly until you take it. But once again, it's still very heavy. Abram doesn't have as much trouble with it. He kind of like he can hoist it up and put it on like one shoulder and brace it if you really wanted to. Who knows?
Sorry, Abram.
It's fine.
You take these back to Salvador and you tell him what I've done. I did not mean for this crisis to happen. I will answer for my crimes.
By the way, the persuasion check earlier was to see if he went along with your plan.
Okay.
I'd look at Nick's room.
Is anybody home? Hello?
Oh,
Chief?
that must be Jacqueline with my bike.
And Chief somberly saunters over to his sofa and then just, like, plops down in the middle of it.
Aurelio, you have a free hand. Can you go get the door?
Do we let her in, or do we just...
I mean,
Hey, is anybody home? I see lights on in there.
we're leaving anyway, so.
How about we just walk out then? Don't say anything to her.
All right, I won't.
Jacqueline is just sitting outside the door, and Aurelio, you push it open.
I give the chief a pat on the back.
All right, he doesn't move. He just kind of like, huff, like huff. That was a very like harsh barking huff. It was more of a quiet like, hoof. But anyway, you pat him on the back, and he's just sitting there in front of his fireplace, besides like his end table with its various photos on it and stuff like that. And you go outside and you see Jacqueline, and she's standing in front of Nix's motorcycle, which now has a sidecar attached to it.
Nyx nearly drops the compressor.
So you would crush
Too
your
bad I
foot
couldn't
instantly.
get in it. We have to put the compressors in.
You didn't.
I did.
You didn't.
Well, I mean, yeah, I did. I'm pretty cool. Jacqueline says.
I can't. Wow.
Abram dumps one of the compressors into the sidecar.
Okay, it coughs up like a bunch of dust in your face as you plop it down, having been buried like 2 feet in the ground.
He is
Nyx-
unmoved.
Nyx gently puts hers in the sidecar.
Okay. Jacqueline moves to like take the seatbelt and like stretch it out and put it over these two things like some giant baby. Yeah, I didn't think that you guys... Hey, are those the compressors? She like inspects them closely.
Well, explain later.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, I guess we should get going. Man, 4 of us on this motorcycle, huh? I kind of thought the whole, like, sidecar thing would...
Hi,
I
Jacqueline.
expected that to work too.
Do you want to hold this on the way back? Points at one of the compressors.
I mean, I guess the smallest person can, like, squeeze in there with that, and Jacqueline's kind of small, but...
Looks at Aurelio.
How small is Jacqueline?
Jacqueline is 5'2".
She gets it.
Okay, Jacqueline squeezes like alongside these compressors. They're like weirdly sized, but they're just like weirdly, they're bulky, but they're not like super obstructive. She like squeezes in alongside them. And do you guys get on and go? Do you guys want to sit out? Do you want to do something?
We should just go.
Okay, it's now like getting close to nighttime, the nighty nights. For realsies, it's like 11 o'clock right now. Actually, it's like 10:30, 10:45. Okay, you guys look
Get
behind
on
you.
Abram's
And,
back like a jetpack.
okay, you guys mount the bike in your traditional riding position. 3 men stacked like a backpack, and you rev the engine.
3?
Well,
There's
okay,
only 2.
3 people, 2 men and a woman, and then another woman in the sidecar. And you guys just begin to slowly rev the engine and head down the hillside past all the ruins of the old houses, whatever they used to be, away from the chief, who's still waiting in front of his fireplace, staring off into nothingness. Jacqueline is beside you, the wind flipping through her hair. And on the way by, you guys see headlights coming your way. Roll perception, all 3 of you.
Perception.
Okay. Coolio. Nix, what's your It doesn't matter. Anyway, you guys see coming from the other direction, and you guys look. The headlights blind you, but as it goes by, you quickly look at the occupants, and it's Sally and Barkley, who are going towards the chief's house, and they also. They look over to the left, and it doesn't look like they noticed you guys, even though they did see what was in there. They couldn't like quite count all the people, but they see you coming the other way as well. And then you guys continue to speed on by. And then farther back, you guys see some headlights disappearing around the bend up into the hill where the chief lives. And where's your destination?
We need to drop these compressors off first.
Okay. To Sal, or to Jacqueline, or to where you want to go?
I'd say Sal will be the most
Yeah.
understanding.
Alright, you guys
So-
head towards the big tall radio tower, blinking its red and yellow lights at the top off in the distance, where you guys first came in the Tenby on the way. You pull through dirt roads, and then bump up onto some paved roads for about maybe a minute, and then you're back on the dirt roads as you approach this big open garage, like kind of like the way they would store like fire trucks, just a bunch of shutters like alongside next to this radio tower. And you pull up alongside it, and then
Yep.
Jacqueline gets out.
Alright. I say, hey, thanks for the side cards.
Yeah, not a problem. It looks like you guys need it. Technically, it's a loan, but yeah, it seems to be like you guys are putting it to good use. Where'd you get those?
Again, we'll explain later. Just, we need to drop these off first.
Jacqueline looks noticeably annoyed, but she doesn't say more than that.
Trust me.
All right,
I
well,
will explain everything.
Salvador's probably inside. You might have to knock pretty loudly, though. I'm gonna head back to my garage, I guess.
That'd probably be for the best right now.
All right, I'll see you guys later. And then she starts to walk back down. It's not a long walk. You guys are not like miles out from Tenby like you would be the chief's house. She like starts to walk down the road, and then she like disappears behind one of the buildings down Main Street.
Nix gets off the motorcycle. Do we carry these in, or do we leave them here?
What are we gonna say?
Abram, you get off mute. This is time to figure out your plan.
What plan?
I don't know. What do you guys do?
Regardless, Abram speaks up and he said just tell them the truth.
Yeah, I think that's the best option that we have right now. He'll be in trouble, but I mean, anyone would be
Well,
after this.
let's just make sure Salvador knows that he didn't mean anything ill by it.
He crippled the town's water supply. I don't know what he expected.
He's an old man. He doesn't even understand technology this day.
Still, there are consequences to his actions, as much as you like it or not.
Oh yeah, should he have done it? No, but he didn't know the third one wasn't gonna work, and again, I've been talking to this man all day. He doesn't understand it all.
A light begins to shine down on you guys, and you look up and see from the second story like a pair of blinds that have like yielded to have like some slatted light coming down on you guys, and you see like the silhouetted outline of someone, and then the blinds shut again, and then another few seconds passes, and if you guys continue to talk, then that's cool. But otherwise, the door opens up the front, the one alongside the big shutters, and you guys see the silhouette of Salvador. And he's got like a bandage around his head still, much thicker than one at the bar. And he just, he's like squints, and he's like, who's there?
Next, Abram and Aurelio.
What? All right, why aren't you guys at the inn? And he slowly walks out towards you guys.
Special delivery.
He turns on his flashlight, and he looks down and sees the two compressors in your sidecar, and he like gasps. He's like, what? Where did you get these from? And he like kind of looks a little suspicious.
That's a conversation that we should probably have inside.
Yeah. Okay, sure, that makes sense. Let's just pop these in real quick. And he heads back inside, and then another few seconds pass, and then you hear the rumbling sound as one of the shutters begins to open closest to the door. I just put them in there. Drop them off.
Alright, she takes one and she goes to drop it off.
Okay.
Abram grabs the others.
Coolio. You guys enter in and you see it's definitely got the shutters meant for like big vehicles, but the only big vehicle is the truck that you guys were riding out in the desert before. There's a few other smaller ones like motorcycles and whatnot, but most of this entire place has just been turned into like a workstation. And lots of pipes and wires and computer screens and things they're just draped everywhere. Top to bottom. Some of them are glowing, some of them are off. There's this constant hum in your ears and this like very metallic-y smell. And you see in the back connected into this building in their own like enclosure almost, but they're meant to be outside as these big 3 tall like almost towers, but not quite super huge. The cyber stank, yes. And they're connected off into this big metallic reservoir even farther back behind the radio station, like the water towers that you would see like driving along the interstate or something. And these pipes they go off into the distance and then just disappear, presumably somewhere in Tenby. And they're like as big as you. And these 3 machines are all like 20 feet separated from each other, and there's a lot of tools scattered around them and black oil dripping, and those are presumably the things that are missing these compressing pieces. And one of them is actually missing an even bigger piece, and Abram would know that that piece is actually in the brothers' smithery shop. And you just set him down on the floor, and Salvador comes in through a side door from the main connected building, presumably, that he lives in. And he's got like a bathrobe wrapped around him. It's a faint blue. And he puts on some sandals and he says, "Okay, what the fuck?"
Can I just say that I explain? Like, catch him up to speed on everything that happened?
Is there anything you leave out?
I want to leave out the part where he locked us in the closet.
So I think you might want to tell me specifically what you say. You don't need to say it eloquently, but...
Yeah, like... I want to tell him that, like, he got to the chief's house, he was drunk, and, he was drunk, we went to go put him to bed, opened the door, so the wrong room, found that, and he explained himself, and, you know, all the stuff keeping in of, like, what the chief said to us, like, how the chief explained it.
Oh, you tell him everything honestly?
Yeah, and I tell him the option that we gave the chief, and the chief said no, he wanted to be upfront about it, and tell him why he wanted to feel you, all that stuff.
So Merwin stole the compressors. Wow. I'm a little shocked, I'll be honest with you guys. Well, now I kind of feel bad implicating Barkley. I guess he's not as bad as I thought he was, but... Wow, son of a bitch. And he just kind of like is scratching at the 5 o'clock shadow all across his face. Oh, let me see those. And then he kneels down next to them and he's looking them over real quickly and he's like, okay, these look terrible. I mean, it's better than starting from scratch, but ooh, I don't know if I can.
Let me take a peek at
them. Yeah, sure, but, I mean, it's getting late. Don't you guys want to, like, get some rest? I guess we could start on these things tomorrow.
I think that might be best.
I just want to see what I'm working with here.
Okay. You want to do some preliminary studying of them?
Yeah.
Alright, then. Salvador, like, goes over to his computers and he starts making, like, logs and stuff like that, and he lets you go at them. Try not to touch anything too much right now, okay? I really want to be able to start from scratch of whatever's left here.
No problem. I just want to look,
Jacqueline.
see how much work is going to need to be done.
Okay. He goes to the phone and he actually like puts in a quick like few dial-y numbers, and then you hear, hey, Jacqueline. Hey, yeah. Then he puts his hand over the phone and he's like, "Do you want me to tell Jacqueline that you guys found him or something right now?
She was with us. She knows we found him.
What? Oh. And then he puts his ear up, and Jacqueline's, like, saying a lot of words. And he's like, oh. Okay, yeah, Jacqueline, then tomorrow, you and I are going to have to get to work on these things. And he's just talking with Jacqueline in the background.
What can I tell about the...
Oh, okay.
compressors?
They're not really corroded. They haven't been gone for very long, but they've been not stored very properly at all in the hole. They've been buried in dirt thing. A few of the things have been bent and twisted just by virtue of being literally ripped out of the machine. Like, these things are huge, and you probably can imagine that only the chief would have been able to just wrap his hands around there and just yank them out. You see, like, finger indentations from where the chief's, like, meaty hands had just been gripping the metal so hard that it just, like, ripped and twisted a little beneath the weight.
Jesus.
And then the pipes that were supposed to connect to the machine itself were bent and twisted in the process, and then the filters are they're just covered in sand and dirt and dust, and they're probably heavier than they really should be just because they're full of dirt as well. And it looks like it's going to be a long cleaning job, and some of the pieces look like they're going to need to be replaced, and it's just going to have to be a thought and a prayer on whether or not they've got the replacement parts in their shop. Okay, you got your preliminary, and I'll be honest with you, I think I'm going to give you advantage on working with these things in the future, because you decided to take a moment, and I'm going to say that you just took as long as you needed to in order to figure out what's going on. And then you hit the phone hangs up, and he says, guys, you should just head home. It's going to be a long day tomorrow, starting bright and early. Nix, if you really want to help, then that'd be great, but I'll see you at the dawn. I need to sleep over some things, and I got a real fucking headache, you feel me?
Alright, I'll come back tomorrow then.
Yeah, I think I got enough information to know how to start. So, you know, guys, I honestly feel like this was partly my fault. You see that third one over there on the end, and he just points over to the other one. He says that one's not working, and I lied to the people and told them that did, because I wanted them to feel a bit more comfortable, and we can operate with just 2 moisture compressors. It would have been fine, but no, I told everyone that we had 3 and we had a surplus, and I didn't realize that somebody would try to sabotage them or anything, and man, things that could have been avoided if I had just thought about things. Alright, you guys head home.
alright. See you tomorrow. And she heads back over to her bike.
Okay, I'm gonna assume Abram does the same.
Shrug.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah. You guys hop back on your bike. Where are you going? Going to the inn?
Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock at
Wherever
night.
it takes us.
Alright. Wherever Nix, she's kidnapped you. She drops you off in her
kidnap
dungeon.
you.
You're dropped into the basement. Okay, you guys head back. You pull up to alongside the inn that Gallon runs, and you park underneath the tin roof shelter. And then you head inside. Gallon waves to Aurelio as he goes by and says, "You're Nix! Oh! Far out, man. I love the arm.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, fucking
Designed
sweet.
it myself.
Oh, not fucking. Gallon doesn't say swears. Alright, yeah, here's your room keys. And then he, like, throws one to Abram and throws one to the next. And says, upstairs, 2nd floor. Cool view, man.
Thanks.
You just got the one night, though. So, like, you're gonna have to pay after that. Breakfast is included. It's just, like, bready stuff. Snortling, you gotta mute yourself when you're not talking. Alright, cool. Cool, bros. I'll see you tomorrow.
She does like that 2-finger like salute thing.
Yeah, he does like the hang 10, pinky and finger out. Pinky and
Oh
thumb
my
out,
god, I
and he
hate
shakes
that.
it. Yeah, he's got like red hair too, and like blue paint along the way. He might look like one of the people that you saw in the photos of the chief and his family, but he doesn't look he doesn't look like one of the people in the photos, but he looks similar to the people in the photos.
What's with everybody in red hair?
Maybe you should roll. He could roll investigation.
No.
Okay.
She keeps that as a note. What's with people in red hair?
You can figure it out if you perhaps rolled high enough in investigation.
Sounds like you really want me to roll investigation.
You don't have to. I'm just saying, like, the rolls will give you some kind of like benefit, perhaps. All right, yeah. Perhaps you deduce that the red hair thing is a thing that's native to people of Sargasso, and people who are among these tribes who are very native to the land and go back generations and generations. Red hair being the predominant trait.
I mean,
I
I have red hair.
You do have red
Yeah.
hair.
So actually,
Jake
Aurelio.
has red hair. Abram has pink hair.
Aurelio might actually be the one who explains this to you.
Okay.
Since I think he rolled higher than. I don't know if he rolled or not.
Since I live here.
Since he
I mean,
lives here, yeah,
yeah.
he might explain to you that this is kind of the thing. The blue paint's not uniform, but this particular tribe has a lineage going back of blue paint.
I've never seen the blue paint.
Aurelio's never seen the blue paint. All right, you guys popping to bed? Doing the sleepy deeps? All right, you guys got separate rooms, and they're very tiny. They're like...
There are 3 rooms.
Yeah, there's lots of rooms.
Right? Why can't we sleep together?
All right, well, I mean, your prerogative, but like...
Me and Abram just sleep in the same bed.
Okay.
Nick gets in her own room and slams the door behind her.
That's fair. I'd lock it, babe.
She does.
Yep. There. Here we guys. They're 8x8 rooms. They're very small. They just have like a bed and a cupboard and like a tiny closet for keeping anything. And you go to sleep. All right. In this particular gameplay mechanic, we're going to be doing long rests, essentially. Yeah. That's just like D&D. I think you just recover all your HP. If you use spell slots, you get those back. If any of you are fucking wizards and you just didn't tell me. Yeah, HP, hit die, your one per use healy wheelie thingy is back. So mark that down if you need to. All 3 of you should have inspiration, by the way. I don't think I explained that to Aurelio, but Aurelio and Abram, for your actions in the bar where you went and investigated through things, even though technically the culprit you had already apprehended, which is in the form of the chief who was passed out in Nyx's arms, you went out and did more investigation on top of that, and so as your reward, you get inspiration die to use sometime later, because I don't want you guys to feel like you wasted your time.
So for inspiration, do we hit on the digital
it's just
card?
It's just a clicker thing. On the Roll20, you just click it, and it does like a check mark, and it's like, oh, I have one.
Just like a dragon.
Yeah.
It's like a dragon check mark.
It's just to be cute.
I didn't know if it did anything, like if I had to click it only when I was planning on using it.
No, in the future we'll just remember to use it and unclick it when you're done.
Okay.
And it's just a 1d6 die that you can add to anything, except for damage. I don't think you can add it to damage, but you can add it to anything.
There isn't like an inspiration thing on character.
What? You're really cutting out there, Mr. Snortles. Aurelio.
There isn't like a inspiration. Like, that I'll put at the bottom of the page.
An inspiration die? What?
Oh, I put mine under inspiration points. If you're using the hyperlinks.
Oh, if you're using the hyperlinks, then it would be inspiration.
Like the top.
I don't know why.
I just put 1d6. So I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
1d6. It's 1d6?
It's 1d6, because 1d4 is baby numbers.
Okay.
When you guys do something role play,
we get our D8 back.
Yeah, you get your 2d4 healy wheelie thingy.
Oh, 2d4.
Yeah, because that's a better way. You'll get more health that way, in theory. Trust me, I'm helping you guys out with that one. Kind of, sort of. Not really. Kind of. It works. Math is hard. Anyway, you wake up. You hear, room service.
God. No.
Yes, let me in.
I say
yes.
Let me in, Aurelio.
Oh God.
I have the key.
I'm so scared.
Okay.
She's giving you a choice.
I go to the door and I open it.
Alright, you open it up and it's the tiniest red-haired woman you've ever seen in your life. She's like 4 foot, like 2.
I pick her up.
I've killed a man with a vacuum cleaner.
I put her back down.
There
and I
Sonny.
She
like looks in the room and she's like, oh, you're the people who came in on Salvador's truck, aren't you?
Why does she sound like Professor Quirrell from Harry Potter?
I'm going to kill you slowly with my scalpel.
Harry Potter.
was told that Salvador wanted you
No,
at the crack of dawn.
She sounds like Creature from Harry Potter.
I don't know what you're talking about. You should get going, Sonny. Get out of the room, you little red-haired mohawk asshole.
Everyone just cut out. What happened?
Get out of the room, you little bitch.
Oh. Why?
I need to clean it, and Salvador said he wanted the three of you at the garage.
Okay.
Thank you. And then she like pushes by you, and then just starts like vacuuming the floor, and like making the sheets.
I just pick up my stuff and I pick my shirt back up and I leave shirtless
I'm emotional.
through the hallway.
All right. The other two of you, you have not been invaded, but you hear the vacuum cleaner like playing in the other room, and you guys.
I
are
knock
away.
on both of their doors.
Aurelio does a double team, 2 knuckles going at the same time.
And Warren.
Nyx opens the door. Her hair is... Wow. And she obviously looks irritated.
You might want to get ready and get out before the small demon lady
Before she comes.
gets to you. She's killed a man.
I'm coming.
Really, you might want to go now.
She closes the door. 5 minutes later, she comes back out.
All right, and then you get up
I
to
say the
Abram.
same thing to
You
Abram.
open up the door to Abram's, and he's feet on the ceiling, slumbering upside down.
What?
And then he like leaps off and lands on his feet, fully dressed, hair perfect, and his teeth appear to already be brushed. Kind of weird.
What do you mean he's sleeping on the ceiling?
Oh, nothing. He just looks like he always does.
Yeah, and then you guys head downstairs and have your breakfast, and it's another rehydrated.
What do you
like,
mean he's
bread
sleeping on the
muffin thing.
ceiling?
Breakfast.
Gallon just throws like these little packets that are like ramen noodle size
Like a
into some
bat?
water, and then you put some water over it from the pitcher, and they rehydrate into these big muffins.
Listen, I'm not dropping this. Is he a bat or not?
It's
Does
pretty
mine
good.
have strawberries in it?
Yeah, it's different fruits: blueberries, strawberries, peach.
I love fruit.
Guys, he's a fruit bat. What the hell?
And then you guys are good to go. Gallon.
No,
yeah,
listen,
man.
does he like transform?
Don't worry about it, Abram.
I'm gonna worry about it. I'm
Aurelio.
also not Abram.
The other A1, Abram.
Sorry, I'm not the bat.
You have nothing to fear. It's just a fruit bat.
And now your breakfast is completed. You feel rejuvenated
No,
and
breakfast
rehydrated.
is not completed. What are you?
Aurelio, put it. Just set it down, Aurelio. Just
No,
set it down.
I'm rolling interrogation.
You can't
Oh my
interrogate your
God.
fellow friends.
I can do whatever I want.
You're outside in the street. Gallon waves you goodbye with his pinky and his thumb. See you guys, and then you guys are out on your bike.
No, I didn't want equals 2.
That says you got 0 successes. So you know
No,
what?
it's
You
equals 2.
didn't see a
Minus
damn
2.
thing. You didn't. As soon as you opened Abram's door, it was just pitch black, and you saw nothing.
No, you
Now
already
you're on the
described
road.
it. I've already
You're
seen it.
already on the road to the garage.
No, I've already seen it. He's a bat. What the hell? Are we just gonna completely skip this? Nyx, why aren't you saying anything? Did you freaking see him? Are you seriously just gonna let this go? He was on the ceiling.
You're fine.
Is this only happening to me?
Aurelio, you had a bad dream, alright?
Abram is sitting neatly in the
Aurelio,
sidecar
you're
waiting
okay.
patiently.
Do I lose stability? Like, what is going on here?
You lose 1 stability.
I'm actually concerned. Did I not see this? Nyx, did you see this?
Don't worry about it.
No, Nyx, did you see this?
Oh, GM, DM, whatever.
Yeah.
Do I hear any choo-choos?
Choo-choos. No, you don't hear any choo-choos right now, but you know from looking at the report from yesterday that the train was due in 11 o'clock last night, and it won't be leaving again today until the afternoon.
You're stuck here forever with us, Batman.
Well, I mean, he's stuck here until 12, and right now it's like 6:30 in the morning.
My stomach hurts.
I am patient for now.
Do you guys head out to Salvador's garage?
Yep.
Okay. You drive out. You get there pretty quickly. The inn is pretty close by, and you see that there are several vehicles parked outside his shop already. You don't recognize any of them. And you head inside, I presume?
Oh yeah.
Okay. You head inside. You see Salvador stepping around the big machines. You see the two brothers. You see Jacqueline, and you see Rosemary. They do not see you.
Next kind of taps on the nearest hard surface.
They all direct their attention towards you. Thomas and Robertson are just like, "Oh, hey, it's the girl."
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hey. Hello.
So from what I could see from last night, I did a little preliminary checks. There's nothing really corroded, but it obviously hasn't been stored properly.
Yeah, Salvador
And
says.
The main concern right now is that there is sand, dirt, dust, and other things in the compressors, which is the main source of the problem.
Yeah, I tried to do some cleaning out last night, and so is Rosemary. And Rosemary like waves her hand, and she's wearing like a very, very black like apron over her usual like clothing, and it's just covered in dust. And she's got like tiny little brushes and pockets that look like they're for painting, but they've been repurposed for like corroding or removing dirt.
Cute.
Yeah, the brothers are in the back, and they've got like a big like crane machine, like bulldozer fusion thing that's like putting the part that was in their shop back where it belongs on the third moisture collector.
Yeah, they better fucking put it back.
Okay.
Other than that, there's bent and twisted pipes. Some things are going to need to be replaced. Not sure how we're going to go about that.
I have a question. Are you really for real? He's gonna try and help them repair this thing? Any of you? All three of you?
I would like to.
Because
I could definitely try to help. 'Cause
repair is a thing, and
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that if you guys, I'm gonna be rolling repair for all of them, and rolling repair for all of you guys. And if you guys can get a collectively high enough score, we'll see how things go.
Aw.
And if you can RP like what you're doing in the meantime, we'll make it slowly easier and easier. Because right now it's impossible, but as you guys like work up your numbers and do your RPs.
Alright.
I can definitely try to help.
Mm-hmm.
Aurelio knows some stuff from his mechanic days.
I can't do shit, but I can follow instructions. So.
That's the spirit, says says Rosemary. Let's see here. How many people we got?
What
lot.
do you roll for repair?
That should be a thing, shouldn't it? I guess in this case
I
it'd
was
be
looking.
science.
Repair is a tool?
Repair was a tool. Yeah, but it wasn't in there. I just kind of like homebrewed it in. So if you want to do science or wisdom,
Arcana is the science equivalent.
Yeah, sure. So we'll do science, or we'll do dexterity this time because it's a lot of manual like moving and stuff like that, and it's going to be a case of like some people who are more dexterous could assist in this case.
Yeah, that might be good for me.
That's for me and Abram, right?
Yeah.
You know, I thought you took proficiency with repair stuff, Aurelia.
I have proficiency in
No, wait, I remember.
security tools.
It's all coming back to me now.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I'm the one with the repair tool.
Salvador, fuck, wow. Nyx is gonna be pretty good at this then. Because you can add your proficiency to these rolls then.
Did my cracking knuckles
Oh, it came
make it
through.
through?
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
good.
everybody gets to work. Bing brothers are hammering away on new pipes. They brought sheet metal and they're just like manually fitting new pipes to it and stuff like that, as they put in the new machine. Rosemary doesn't have much to do, but she's like trying to clean out what she can. Aurelio, you're monkeying around the outside of these things. You've been
Makes sense.
you've been put like they've given you a blowtorch. It's not the kind for cutting in. It's the kind for like putting back together. I guess they're one and the same, but it's like a welding, not welding, the smaller scale. Soldering. It's like a soldering iron.
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys want to start rolling for repairs and doing various things.
Is it a save or just the
No, it's just
regular?
it's just the regular.
Okay.
I
That changes.
fixed the entire thing myself.
Nyx, for the most part, you've got them back installed.
Woo!
You and Aurelio both like work together to put the parts in back where they need, and
I
then
high five Nyx.
Abram, roll some dexterity for me.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
Okay, yeah. While you guys are putting in the machine and then holding it steady, Abram is reaching in with his longer arms and he's putting in the screws and the soldering points where he's told to by Salvador. Let's see here. There's still a lot of bit dusty, and the Bing brothers have put together the third one on the end, which up until now has not been working. And they're going to see if they've succeeded.
I'm afraid.
It slowly roars to life, and then it like coughs. The machine like coughs and shudders real quick, and then they immediately slap the thing on the side, the switch, and it shuts back down. And then like the one like takes off his hat and he like pulls back his sweaty like gnarled hair.
Am I all set with my area?
Yours looks back together, but you haven't tried it yet.
Alright, I'm gonna everything looks good, right? From what I can see.
Yeah, this middle one does. Number
All
B.
right. I'm gonna try and activate B.
Okay, you flip the switch and it slowly begins to roar to life, and it coughs once, it coughs twice, and then you let it go and it just keeps on humming.
Woo! Oh. She wipes the sweat off her brow. Alright.
I high five Nyx.
Wow, that's one, Salvador says. Rosemary's like clapping quietly in the back, like a little golf clap. And she's got like a smile on. Oh shoot, Jacqueline's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about her. Didn't write her down. I have to roll for her. Yeah, she does pretty well.
Doing good. I go over to the one that the brothers are working on.
Okay. Yeah, you
and
can.
I examine it.
You examine it. Roll for something. Roll for.
Okay,
no, you know what you're looking for. Investigation. Perception would be if you
Investigation.
didn't know what you're looking for.
But what about Arcana? Because that's what I've been using.
Nah, that's if you have to. Once you identify the problem, but first you have to figure out what it is to begin with. You can't see the problem.
Can I try
Yes.
to look for a problem?
Mhm.
Okay. I mean, no way.
I mean, anybody can look. Investigation is different from science.
What's investigation? The
Wisdom, I think. I don't know what the
Intelligence.
passive intelligence. You can try.
well,
Okay, you barely make it.
yeah. What do I see?
You see
hate
that
this.
there is a part missing from it. You see that like a motherboard, like a software piece, is missing.
Oh, I tell Nyx.
Yeah,
That's
you-
not
Is
my.
it- There's a software?
It's a software problem.
Alright. I say, hey Sal, we're missing a motherboard.
Fuck, Salvador says. He like runs over to like a bin and he's like pulling out different pieces and stuff like that, and he's trying to look for what could be possibly missing. Abram, can you roll dexterity for me? You're working with Jacqueline. She's doing the science and you're doing the dexterity.
Hell yeah, dude. You said Dex, right?
Dex, yes. Dex, or if you can argue something else. Okay, yeah. Abram is like leaping around the outside of
Fist
number A, and he's just like putting all the Jacqueline's like pointing, and then he like teleports there, like very quickly, and he's just like this, and she's like no, and then he like holds it out and throws it up in the air, juggles it, and puts it back in the correct way.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's like pulling cables and hooking them up, and pulling pipes and hooking them up and soldering things together. Abram is very, very dexterous. When somebody tells him what to do, he can fucking do it. And she doesn't give you the best instructions, but you are you're intuitive enough to realize like, no, that's like, are you sure? And she's like, no. And then you put it in the right way, and it seems to be working out for the most part. Okay. Abram, do you flip the switch?
I flip it.
You flip it, and that one, number A, that one comes roaring back to life as well, and it coughs, and then it shuts down again. And then a Bing brother comes in with a giant wrench and crawls inside, and then you hear like a lot of swearing, a lot of yelling, and then like 3 like bang, bang, bang. And
What do you
then,
mean he crawls inside?
I mean like
He's
the
alive.
like underneath the
Okay.
foundations. Yeah,
I
it
thought, like,
turns
there was,
on
like,
and he's
a-
shredded like a blender.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
No, it's fine. He doesn't
Yeah,
go
he's
anywhere
alright.
near the things. He does say something like that sounds like he's in pain, and then he comes out again. And he's like, the damn thing pinched me.
He's
I mean, the damn thing pinched me. He says in his Joyzy. Now I have to try it again.
choke him.
Abram does it again.
All right, you do it, and it roars to life again, and it coughs and it coughs, and then it settles, and then it keeps going, and it's now
Abram
running.
looks satisfied.
Okay, Salvador gets back from the bin, and he's like, I don't think I have that replacement piece. It's a Lunaris. Sent that to us. I don't.
Can't you ask for another one?
We can, but it's going to be weeks before they send another one. These things are hard to come by, and I don't know how to build them, and I'm not quite sure who does.
I look
they're
at
unique.
Nyx.
They're unique to like they're like subtle that controls like the minute movements of like the inside pieces that control like the airflow and it's meant for like
Right.
fine tuning
Could-
movements.
My eyes are
Right.
boring into Nyx.
Can I take a look
You
at
can
the bare bones that
the
we have?
bare bones that it has. Okay, you look inside and roll investigation. Okay.
Fuck.
All right, you get the information.
If I'm not high enough, can I use my inspiration?
No, but you
Could I
should
roll
check.
to assist?
You should check your PMs in
Oh.
Discord.
So I automatically know.
You automatically in a way.
All right. Oh yeah. I actually. Oh.
I will explain the situation after a bit of time, but in the meanwhile, the Bing brothers are walking all around this third thing. You guys have got 2 going already, and for that they're very thankful, and everybody's like silently like, okay, this is going very well, but if we can get the third one going, then we can just resume the plans that we had for expansion, and Salvador can get the deeds he needs and the immigrants he needs.
I look at Abram. Hey Abram, what time does the train leave for New Pavo?
12 o'clock, baby.
Out of character, I don't remember telling her that, but yeah, the other people in the room probably know. So I'm gonna assume someone else answers.
Oh
Honestly.
yeah, I mean Salvador can tell you that like,
Yeah.
oh, the train leaves. at
Abram
12.
just stares at her for a second, and then someone else answers.
Indeed. Don't worry about it. Meta knowledge. It's okay. We adapt.
Sorry.
But don't worry, it's
Sorry, I
in
didn't
character that he
realize.
would also just stare at her. It's fine.
All right.
Rosemary would be like, oh yeah, it leaves at 12:30. Shortly after lunch, she says.
What time is it now?
You guys have been
Someone-
working for like 3 hours, so it's like 9:30,
So it's about 9?
10? Yeah, it's like 9:30. I'll cut the
9:30, 10?
difference.
Can someone hand me a I think it's like a 1/4 screwdriver.
Does anybody do it?
Sure, Abram does.
All right.
She takes the screwdriver to her shoulder and opens up a panel, and then pops out a chip and hands it to Sal.
What? This is an exact match.
I know.
Are you sure?
I have more at my shop. I'm headed back today anyway.
Okay. I mean, this is a pretty rare trip. I'm not quite sure if you do have one back at your shop. But
I survived without one arm for a while. I can do it again.
thank you so much, Nix. And then he goes in and tries to install it alongside the other 4 people who are assisting him, so of course he succeeds.
She closes her the panel in her arm back up.
All right, your arm, it feels numb, and you can't really move it besides the 2 major motor servos in your elbow and your shoulder.
Mm.
And it is not dexterous, and any kind of sleight of hand checks or dexterity checks that you're going to be making that involve your hand are going to be at a disadvantage. But they flip the switch, and it comes to life. And all 3
Next
manage to start producing, and then the brothers disappear off down the pipeline, and they start like unhooking different things, and slowly you see like water levels starting to say like, yeah, we have water, positive, getting green. And Rosemary comes up behind you and like sets her hand on your shoulder, the one that's not the robot one. She's like, thank you, you didn't have to do that, and I'm happy that you did.
Well, water is more important than mobility. I have some motor skills in my arm, at least.
I'm glad that Sal met you guys. You really helped us out.
Anytime.
There is a moment of celebration as all 3 of you guys have fixed these water things. The Bing brothers come up behind Aurelio and like pick him up and give him some good shakes, and they put him back down real quick because they're not that strong.
I don't like that they can pick me up to begin with.
Yeah, and then even though it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, they open up whatever kind of liquor Salvador was keeping in his refrigerator. It's like just like ale. It's not anything fancy. And they're just having a drink between each other. All right, Aurelio, you drink. Roll Constitution.
Okay.
Oh my god, please stop.
Here we go, baby.
Listen, if there's a drink, I will have it. We don't get much out in the desert.
You're fine.
Thank god.
Tastes great. Weedy. Faint taste of yellows.
Oh, I love yellows.
All right, and you guys are as you gather around, you guys hear a beep, and then another beep.
Good beep?
A
Bad
beep, 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 like a phone beep, except it's coming from the computer, not the phone.
Okay.
And it does anybody look at the screen?
On my phone,
Nick does.
All right, it says calling, and then it says at the caller ID, it says Lunar's Foundation, comma, Ltd.
Oh.
Lunaris is on the phone.
Salvador like looks at it, and he's like, "Oh, I should take that." And he goes over to the computer and sits down at his desk, and then he presses the enter button. And he says, "Hello, yeah, this is Salvador speaking." And you hear like a female voice on the other end, and she's like, "Hello, Salvador. We have a significant problem, and we were hoping that you can assist us with it." And Salvador looks a little sweaty. You see, Salvador, just a few days ago, we had a unearthed piece of old technology, and we sent out our surveyors, but I'm afraid it was intercepted by a few random marauding scavengers, and, well, we were wondering if perhaps maybe the 3 individuals have been seen in your town. I'm going to be uploading the pictures now, and on the screen you see a very blurry but still detailed enough picture of Abram, Aurelio, and Nyx. And it appears to be taken while you guys were fighting the mechanized surveyor. Actually, Aurelio looks really blurry, but you can kind of tell it's him because of the flaming red mohawk.
Hello?
And then the other 2 are fairly detailed in comparison. Though perhaps they could be mistaken for other people who perhaps have blonde or pink hair, respectively. And Salvador very quickly, like, he looks over at you guys, and he's got this pained expression on his face.
Abram's expression hardens.
Aurelio just kind of looks at any clock to see if it's close enough that they can leave.
It's getting later now. It's like 10 o'clock.
If the train's there, maybe they can
10:15.
hop on it so he doesn't have to lie.
He's saying these things, by the way.
Oh my god. Okay.
And
Quick out
he's
of character.
pulling-
Are we? Maybe we should actually tell or like make like we're going to leave, so he can just be like, yeah, I don't fucking know.
He's pulling out his collar and he's like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna ask my assistant. If you'll excuse me for a second.
Can I pretend to be his assistant? I go over to the phone.
It's a video phone. I want to make that aware to you right now.
Uh,
There is no. You cannot see the female on the other end. It's like a Skype call. It's just like the generic like.
Oh, I have a
call
hood
icon.
on my shirt. I have a hood.
Okay, yeah. But he presses the suspend button anyway. And as you come over. And what do you say to him? He's like looking at you like very pained, like.
I'll take care of this.
What does that mean? That's the most ominous sentence I've ever heard from Aurelio.
He shoots the computer.
I shoot the computer.
Rosemary
Oh my
is
God.
now looking
No.
at you, and she's like
Um,
kind of trying to figure out what's going on.
I say, listen, we will leave as soon as we possibly can. We will get out of here so we don't have to lie. But if you want, I can pretend to be your assistant so I can give them more detailed idea of where we could possibly be right now.
Roll persuasion.
Oh, I'm gonna die, guys. Sorry.
I thought you were charismatic. What happened?
Oh
my
God.
What do you want to do? Says Salvador.
I said, okay, listen. I need you to do.
Wait,
is
hold on.
I need-
He says, he's like, you have done a lot for my town. If it weren't for you guys, I would be I'd be knee deep in shit right now. What do you want?
I need to make sure that this town doesn't get in trouble just for us. So
I have a question, Salvador says. Are you
Go
guys
ahead.
are you guys planning on going, or were you planning on staying?
I need to leave to get another motherboard for my arm.
I guess he looks at all of you. Abram, you've been here too, silently watching like a hawk from like the shadows, but you are there.
I am there.
We can't be here anymore.
It's okay. I understand. I'll tell them I haven't seen you, but they're probably gonna send somebody to check, and you guys can't be here when that happens.
We won't be.
Okay. We'll send you off right. And then he like shoos you away, Aurelio, unless you really want to try and do this plan of assisting.
Yeah, I'll do the plan.
Okay. I don't really think it's necessary because he can just be like he can get back on the phone and just be like, "Oh yeah, I just finished talking with my assistant and she said or he said that."
Yeah, let's do that then.
Okay. Well, then he shoos you away. And then he turns back the suspension, turns off the suspension on the phone. And he's like, I just finished talking with my assistant, and I'm afraid we haven't seen anybody like that. If you want to send us a more detailed picture, we can print them out some posters, and we can post them up at the local offices. And she says, yeah, that would be for the best. Thank you very much, Salvador. We really appreciate your cooperation. How's your town doing, by the way? She says. And he says, you know what? It's doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. And then she hangs up, and he hangs up, and some fax machine starts to whir and activate and print, and then the 3 different posters come out, and they're very crude wanted posters that have your faces on them, all respectively grouped together into little like a party.
Are they like drawn? Or are they
No,
like
no, they're color. They're color.
Oh, okay,
They're
okay.
printed. They're the pictures that were taken by the Charistus mechanized surveyor before it fell into the abyss. And they are labeled for $8,000.
That's
not nearly as much. I think I should.
My color changer in my hair works still, right?
Yeah, that sounds like it
Oh
worked
my
fine.
god.
Nyx goes in and she changes their hair color to red.
All right, makes sense to me.
And then she changes the part in her hair so that her side shave is gone.
Okay.
And then rolls down her sleeve.
I don't think there's much me and Abram can do.
I am pink, and I'm
As
also
long as
headed.
you're here with us, like, ain't gonna get.
She's just an innocent bystander.
Yeah.
Innocent bystander number 406.
Rosemary comes over to you guys and thanks you again for helping her, and then says, "What'd you guys do about the chief?" Salvador told me what happened.
Nothing.
He feels really bad about it, but we think that the final decision because obviously there is going to be some sort of punishment. It'd be strange if there wasn't. But we'll leave that to you.
Well, there's not much of a law enforcement in Tenby right now, but you're right, we should probably do something.
Community service?
Maybe. I'll talk to Sal about it.
You know, if I could say something, if it were
Talking
to
is
be a
free.
community service type of thing, might I recommend maybe you have him maybe just force him to teach people survival
She
technique?
like taps her foot and she's like, that doesn't sound too bad.
Have him teach them the old ways so that the culture still thrives.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I'll talk to Sal about it. That sounds like a good idea. Might need to pick up some trash though at the same time. We can't go too easy.
Aurelio just kind of smiles. Says, good.
Okay, you guys should really probably get going. Well, I guess you got a couple of hours. Well, what do you want to do in the meantime? I guess you got some time to kill. You want some water? Out of character, unless you guys really had something you wanted to do, we're just going to gloss over the 2 hours remaining until the train arrives.
I need to talk to Rosemary.
Okay. You take her aside.
I need to watch.
Do you want some water? I rip her across the room by her arm. Get over here.
Mm-hmm. Is this,
Are you
is
doing
this
this in-
secret?
Are you doing this in secret? Yeah. Or...
I mean, I don't know. Is anyone else doing anything?
Aurelio's said he's going to try and listen in on your
I'm gonna try to
conversation.
listen in.
Oh.
Unless you do something to try and counteract it. It would be a contest of stealth, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a very intimidating number that Aurelio just rolled on his stealth action.
Wait, where?
That's not stealth.
Oh,
No, that was the other one.
that was
for
the
the
previous?
previous one.
Okay. It's hard for me to keep up on chat.
No, it's okay. When she's, I don't know what the fuck she does, but he like looks at her and he just says, "I need to talk to you," and then he kind of does just like once she says okay or whatever, he just kind of turns and leads her somewhere else. So it's like half stealthy, I guess.
Yeah.
He wants to talk to her alone.
It's
but-
subtle. I understand. You're still gonna have to roll stealth.
No,
contest
that's okay. I'm
against
just letting you know. I'm
Aurelio.
not like going to another room.
Nobody
and
else
lock-
is
Sorry.
suspicious.
No, it's fine.
I'm just too curious.
No, Aurelio is the
fine.
only one who's paying attention. So roll your
No
stealthies.
problem. Let me
Roll
see.
your
Hold on.
stealthies, boys and girls.
Do I do? Okay, so I do stealth as well.
Yes, it's a contest. Whoever's gonna roll higher will determine the outcome. Either you are succeeding in hiding
Damn it.
your. No,
I've lost.
Aurelio just pays attention out
No,
of
it's
the corner
okay.
of his eye.
That's not a big deal. Yeah, we're probably like a few,
Mhm.
several yards away, whatever.
Okay.
And I have my backpack. He says, "I want to talk to you more about this orb," and his tone is kind of hushed, but
Okay.
obviously someone hears.
She gets the hint, and she kind of hushes her voice as well, and she says, "Okay, what did you want about it? Did you want me to look through the books again or something? Did you want to?"
No, because you can't read the books.
I can try.
But you you mentioned something about fuck, what was that word you said? He doesn't say that. What was that word you said? It
Consecrate?
started. Yeah, that thing.
Purify.
Yeah, consecrate. You mentioned something about consecration.
Oh, yeah. I guess I was kind of just throwing it out there, but if you
Yeah,
wanted
but
me to,
see, the thing is, on that ship, I kept hearing things, seeing shit.
her face slowly starts to get more and more grave, and she doesn't go pale, but she gets serious. Really?
So it might have just been a joke, but it brought to mind that maybe there could have been use to such a thing.
No, I understand, she says. There may be people who have forgotten some of the old ways, like chiefs, but I'm not one of them. I'm gonna need you to come back with my office, though, and we should be able to do it in a couple of hours, but you're gonna need to bring that up to the roof on my building, and we'll take care of it from there, alright? Just come in the next few minutes, alright? I'm gonna go and set up, and I'll see you there.
Abram nods, and then he immediately looks back towards the others, like to see if anyone was looking or listening.
I stare at Abram dead in the eye, and I just shake my head.
He glares.
Rosemary shrugs and walks away. She picks up her bag, she pats Salvador on the back, and then like waves to the other people, and then she heads out.
Abram does not reapproach the group. He tries to just follow Rosemary.
I approach Abram.
Fuck.
Follow
It's fine.
Aurelio.
See what you did.
PvP.
No,
This is what you did.
I pull out my sword.
No.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Okay, but he tries to like ignore them, but obviously they're coming towards him, and he kind of slows down and looks at them.
I grab the back of Abram's shirt, obviously not near the neck because I can't reach.
Because I cannot.
Because I can't. But
he kind of flinches away because
Yeah.
don't touch me. But
No,
he
but I
looks
do.
at him. No, yeah.
but I do because
But I do.
I say, what the hell's going on, man? I heard what you were saying back there. I thought we all agreed not to do that.
We didn't agree to do anything.
We agreed not to do any of this mumbo jumbo exercise of ghost shit.
But why not?
Because why should we? What if you exercise it and the voice goes away?
It's been away.
I
Like,
think
maybe
if the
it's 'cause
ghost
we're
had
friends.
if the ghost had anything else to say to us, then it would have said it by now.
No, maybe it wouldn't have. We haven't done anything yet. We haven't left this town. We haven't followed any of its stuff yet. We haven't followed any of the things
I
supposed
wanted
to
to
do.
take it back to my workshop and have a look at it under my tools. And I wasn't.
think
I want to see
about
what
you guys.
happens if we take it up there.
But what if nothing happens, that would be the best thing. But what if something does happen and suddenly we can't go to Light's End. It won't tell us any more hints. It won't. We could.
I think that was the only hint that it could possibly give us.
I mean, who knows? It might. I mean, it shakes. It heats up. It burns things. I mean,
It takes power out of my arm and eye.
but it must do that for a reason, right?
Whatever
we
this
change it
is, this
somehow. What if we can't get the power that I'm talking about? Listen, I know it's kind of iffy, but you gotta listen to me. I mean,
Why should I
Me.
listen to you?
have I ever
Abram
done
looks
anything
slightly
ill against
aggressive.
you?
Yes, you're doing it right now.
I'm not threatening you. I'm not doing anything ill. I'm just saying,
listen,
if there's something that you could change, wouldn't you do anything in your power to change it? Anything, if it was something that means to you.
you can't change the past, if that's what you're trying to insinuate.
No, I'm trying to change the future, and this is my only chance.
Then I suggest you seek Light's End and be done with it. For whatever it's worth, I don't think it's going to break the orb if that's what you're worried about.
Hey, guys! And then Salvador is waving and walking over to you people.
What's
The air is
up, Sal?
tense.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to say you guys should get going. I mean, you don't want to be late for the train, and you got plenty of time now, but it'd probably just be better if you don't linger around too much, alright?
How about, and she turns to the two of them. How about we travel to New Pavo? I have some space in my apartment, and we can come up with a game plan then. And
I
then
agree with that.
we can get a closer look at the orb with my tools and see exactly what this thing is.
But that
I
doesn't
trust the
answer
mechanics more than witchcraft.
You were gonna ask the chief about what he thought. That's no.
I don't
more
think we have
mechanical
that
than anything
option
else.
here.
We have to leave.
You don't have to leave right now. Salvador's just kicking you out of the garage. Get out of my garage.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Jacqueline goes. Jacqueline's like, "Oh, you can keep the sidecar."
Well,
Thanks,
okay.
Jacqueline.
She waves.
What if we talk to the chief instead? He's from the same old ritualistic ways.
I don't know. I need to get back on that train without my other arm.
What time is it?
That's the sound of the train beeping in the back. No, it's only been
my
like
God.
10 minutes. You guys still have like 2 hours. It's like 10 o'clock.
Abram leaves. He's going towards Rosemary's house.
It's true.
I tackle.
What? Do you?
Yeah. This is how
Yeah.
it begins.
Abram,
Hey,
I tackle.
Abram keeps the backpack away from Aurelio.
I
and
have
he
a
growls
question.
at-
Remember when y'all were making fun of Rosemary for like not wanting to give up the orb?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, can you really blame her?
I tackle Abram. I'm still serious.
Yeah,
I still tackle Abram.
and I also respond as I said.
All right.
Abram keeps the orb is in his bag and he's keeping it away from Aurelio.
When do I start enforcing roles? Probably
That's
just after
good.
this.
I rolled the
Do you-
15
are we
dexterity to catch up with Abram.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Abram, what's your AC?
My AC.
Yeah.
Let me scroll.
Uh-oh.
Fucking, what is it? Armor class 15. And then plus 2 half cover, but I think that's like if I'm in combat already or something.
Oh, let's see here. I don't
I don't
remember
know what
who
that is.
gets-
I
who
just
breaks
wrote that
ties.
down. I don't know what it was for. I know what
D&D
it was.
That's just if you're behind the cover.
Well, there was something else. It was from the sword, I think. Or
That
what
was
it?
when you were on the train and you fell over and you were ducking behind the thing.
I can't remember what I wrote that down for. I don't know if it was that, but I'm gonna get rid of it because I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
Something about
I
a
think,
shield.
I
but
think
I don't
he
remember
gets
what
to
that
you.
is. Yeah,
I'm afraid
that
that.
because it's 15.
Yeah,
He
I
rolled a
don't hit him.
15.
Yeah.
I just tackle him to the
No,
ground.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's
Aurelio like bumps into him. Abram does not get knocked down.
Oh, okay.
That is a different action. You bump into him and you maybe have a hold on like his wrist or something, but you've not tackled him to the ground.
Okay.
You want to try and do that? You want to get physical?
I don't think I'd live, but
We might. It's all up to the die, unfortunately.
Nyx is rubbing her temples in irritation. Is this really that big of a deal?
Apparently it is. He motions to Aurelio, jumping after him.
Salvador actually steps between you two and pushes you aside and says, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! What are you doing? What's happening?"
I'm trying to go visit Rosemary, but he won't let me for various reasons.
Okay.
I'm trying to prevent something happening to some kind of. And he's just like throwing out words, and he's just saying like witchcraft and voodoo and hoodoo and you do, and I don't trust any
All
of
right.
that. This is gonna
Now,
mess up.
don't go making fun of that crazy voodoo that our witch friend do. And then Salvador like looks down at the ground for a second, very confused about what he said, and then he looks back up and he's like, "Yeah, Aurelio, I don't. I encourage
Aurelio, what did you think
Rosemary."
those voices were?
Voices? What are you guys talking about?
He
Salvador says,
ignores Salvador. And he looks at Aurelio.
What voices?
Obviously, the voice came from this orb, and if she does something to exorcise him, we got no way to contact whatever the hell is in there, or whatever the hell that is. And then what are we gonna do? What's
What?
gonna
Maybe
happen?
she can talk to them. Maybe she can summon them.
Rosemary's what?
Let's
Her-
summon them. Let's summon the demons from the orb. And he's like waving his fingers in the air and like doing crazy like motions and stuff.
It's a bunch
That's a
of
great idea.
what? She won't bite. Whatever kind of ritual she's planning on doing is no big deal, Aurelio. Relax.
I'm not worried about her biting.
Abram.
I don't bite. Don't
Aurelio
bite
was
Abram.
spooked by a little bit of supernatural. Ooh.
You know, Aurelio, here, come. I don't think you've got anything to worry about, all right? I'll talk with... Rosemary's nice, and she's just like the chief. She's from an old way of life that kind of people's moved on from. But, I mean, you know, science is the way things go now. Her stuff is no more fantastical than the chief trying to summon rain gods with fancy dancing. It's not... No different than that.
I'll only trust science ever. Science is the only real concrete thing.
Atheist Jane over in the corner there, preaching to the choir, and
Well, I have to say, I agree more with Nyx than I do with
Earl,
whatever that is.
you know what? Then it's fine. Whatever she's gonna do to your treasures, I'm assuming you guys are talking about that stupid ball. It's not gonna do a damn thing.
Exactly.
She's
If
gonna
you're so
she's
untrusting
gonna
of it, then
smother
don't worry
in
about it.
herbs, probably, and then she's going to say a prayer.
And then it'll smell good. And Abram tries to turn around and leave again.
Okay.
Nyx is gonna go with Abram, but she's just kind of indifferent.
He is very guarded.
Sal just says, like, you go along with them. You'll see. It's no big deal.
You can keep him, Abram says over his shoulder.
I throw my hands up in the air, exasperated, and then I put them in my pockets where my gun is, and I follow.
Oh, okay.
And I shoot Abram.
God.
I'm not gonna shoot anyone at this point. Aurelio's just like, I don't know what's up Abram's pants, but I'm keeping
This
my
orb,
guard.
and we're gonna go
Orb.
figure out why.
All right. You guys.
Nyx looks at Abram. I'm not gonna take it from you.
I'm not worried about anyone taking it from me.
I'm
worried
not-
about top
She's-
Oh my god,
Talking
he ignores
about-
the
Talking to Abram.
Oh.
wild. Okay, let's just time skip ahead to
Yeah.
Rosemary's Place.
We time skip ahead, and you're at Rosemary's Place. It's a little bit, you know, you see some clouds overhead and stuff like that, and this isn't like uncommon, but like it's somewhat like nice, refreshing. People like to see clouds when they're in the middle of the desert. And you enter Rosemary's shop, and the back door is open, and you see that there's stairs in the back alongside like a small office, and there's another side room, and you're not allowed to go in there because I said so.
Wait, did you say there were clouds only above Rosemary's house?
No, I just meant like
Okay, I
off
was
in the
like,
distance.
what?
Thunder.
No, it is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I don't know. We're time skipping. I feel like I should say some kind of thing.
No, it's fine, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, you can just say time skip.
Time skip, and you guys are on the roof. It's like a 3-story tall building. It's like in a small, like one of the apartment buildings you'd see like on like the corner streets of like a city, except it's made out of like plastic and like a few bricks and some metal. And she's
It's almost home.
It's almost home. And you see Rosemary, and she's drawn like a chalk circle on the ground, and there's some like various old symbols and things like that drawn in 7 places around the outsides of the circle. She's got like a book, and she's got like a pouch full of like what looks to be like gold dust. And she's like, "Oh, hey, Abram, I'm glad you could make it. I was waiting for a while.
Yeah, I had some things to handle.
Can I see the orb?" And she's completely ignorant of what you people have done to each other.
We're monsters.
He comes over and he takes the backpack off and he removes the orb, but he is holding on to it.
Okay.
And he kind of waits for her to.
All right.
Tell
She like
him what to do.
nods and nods. And she's like, "Okay, yeah, put it in the center of the circle."
He does so.
All right, you have to like let it go.
He does.
All right.
He puts
yeah,
it down, lets it
please.
go.
Step back. Go back.
He steps back.
All right. And she sprinkles it in the gold dust, and you see her making some hand movements. Now she has a staff that you've seen her with it before, but this is the first time you've seen it in a while. It wasn't at the workshop. And it's a long wood staff, and it's got some metal bits hanging from the top, as well as what seems to be bones. And she's making some like gestures in the air with it over the orb, but she sprinkles more like different spices over it. It doesn't have any scent. It glitters as it falls, and the orb is just slowly getting covered in this gentle feeling, this gentle snow. And she's just making her gestures over it. She's moving around the outside of the circle, Then she stops, and she gets close to the orb again and kneels down, and then she takes out a candle and sets 4 candles down on all the different sides, northwest, east, south, and she lights them all, and they burn with a blue light. And she makes some very low syllables underneath her breath. You can't really hear them. It has nothing to do with the fact that I don't know Latin. Everybody roll perception.
Okay. Where am I? Yes.
She's reciting some kind of incantation as she speaks to this orb, to this thing. It says nothing. Nothing happens. It doesn't move. I'm still waiting for Aurelio's roll on perception. She sprinkles it
the
more.
equal sign again.
Okay.
That damn equal sign.
Abram, you notice that the gentle wind has like picked up around the top, and it feels refreshing. You see some potted plants like on the opposite side of the circle, which is in the dead center of the roof. And you see the potted plants, and they're swaying gently to the left, up and down. Their leaves like just pulling in the soft breeze. And you feel the breeze on your face, and it's coming from the left and going to the right, and it feels good.
Do I not feel
fall
the
asleep.
breeze?
No, you don't believe in it, so you
It
don't feel
feels
it.
warm. It feels nice. You look on the potted plants to the far left, and you see them flowing their branches to the south, and then you look to the right, and you see their little branches of the potted plants, and their branches gently flowing towards the north. It's very warm and nice.
It's great.
Why do I feel like something bad's gonna happen?
How high was your perception?
6.
Okay. Abram, roll one more time.
Please don't die, Abram.
Abram was the only one who rolled above the necessary.
As much shit Aurelio says, we still need you.
Abram,
Aw.
you notice that this is a perfect cyclone of wind moving around the orb in the center of the roof.
I look around and notice this, and then I look at Rosemary.
And she's just
Like-
making
like
her
pointedly.
gestures, and she's making her gestures more and more, and she's looking up at the sky, and she's like reciting to some god of hers. And she makes the metal bits on her staff. She like holds them out into her hand, and a small blue arc of lightning like jumps amongst the metal bits. And it appears to be on purpose. It appears to be the staff's purpose. And she gently raises it down to the orb, intending to put the arc of lightning over the orb, the ball of stone. And she does so, and nothing happens. And then she stops. And then she walks over to her station. She gets a bottle of water and gently sprinkles it over the orb. And it washes away all the different spices and herbs that she's piled up on top of it. There. That should be it.
Abram blinks down at their wet orb.
Your orb is
and
wet.
he looks back at Rosemary, and he's like, wait, what the fuck was I gonna say? Oh. How did you do that?
How did I do what? I mean, it's a method of my people. My mother told me that I had to do this before we were gone. It's supposed to cleanse evil spirits from places and things. We usually do it on our residences, but it works on things as well.
He looks up at the sky, and then he looks around.
Really? You look up at the sky, huh?
Yes.
Alright. You see that the clouds have been forming a gentle circle in the sky directly above you.
He stares at Rosemary, and then he doesn't question it anymore. It's just fucking magic, I guess. And he goes to...
She does not know what you are talking about, just to be clear.
I know.
Okay.
I think that answers the question, really.
Aurelio, who did not notice any of this, just goes,
That was
"Did
dumb.
something happen?"
Yeah.
He's really lost. He's like, "I didn't."
What did Nyx roll? Nyx, you also noticed this stuff. You had to get above a 10.
Oh.
Sorry. I made Abram rolled the highest, and so that's why I made him re-roll. But that you noticed as well. Aurelio, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just like, what happened? Nothing happened.
It's okay, it's in character.
I mean, nothing
Doesn't
had to
believe
happen.
in
It really is in character. He doesn't believe in any of it. So he's like, what?
So Aurelio, Sal, it did exactly what Sal said, which is like, oh, it's just a bunch of like glyphs and words, and then it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Nyx, you and Aurelio, you and Abram are just standing, and Rosemary bends down and picks up the orb and holds it in her hand, the opposite of her staff.
How dare she?
She's a bit indifferent. She doesn't really believe any of this crap, but she does think that it's a little strange. But she's not going to say anything.
Sundara, I said.
She hands it back over to. She holds it out to Abram, or Nyx, whoever's closest, really.
Abram.
Oh,
He does say though, you saw the wreck, right?
Saw the wreck. Yeah.
The wreckage.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was something of value to Salvador. I was really hoping that he'd be able to use it to fix the third collector.
Did you recognize it?
No, not at all. In fact, that's why I thought it was so interesting and why he might notice it. I kind of thought it might be, a relic left over from before the modern era, actually.
He looks at the orb and he looks disappointed because...
Modern with a capital M, by the way.
I see. He looks at Nyx because he remembers that she saw the fucking ghosts, but apparently nobody cares about the ghosts.
Not real.
Oh my god. So
I
mad.
didn't see any ghosts.
I didn't say ghost. I said there was a strange warmth.
Yes, these random heat signatures and voices, I'm sorry.
And the thing that we did see that caused the heat signature was a robot.
Oh my god. What about the zombie and the grate?
That's what it was. That was the robot thing.
A robot.
The one in my blue
It was a corpse.
It was
I'm
a
losing my
robot.
goddamn
Listen, Batman, it was a robot.
Session 5, the party's already torn apart.
No, it's fine. But okay, he takes the orb and he
You
he
keep
just
that
nods
close,
to
okay.
her. He looks at her like, you keep saying these things, but I can't do anything about this.
You know, my offer still stands. I wouldn't mind buying it from you and putting it in my window.
He puts it in the bag.
Okay. You guys should be fine now. The only reference I saw to any kind of small egg-like orbs in my books was to, like, cleansing rituals like these, actually. Old people on Sargasso would apparently have these things involved in rituals for cleansing areas and supposedly sealing things, but...
What?
Yeah, like just what I did right now, where they'd find a new place, and if it felt
No,
like
no,
it
no, no,
had-
no, no. Feeling thing.
What? Sealing, like locking away,
Yeah.
like evil spirits and stuff like that. Like when they would arrive
Yeah.
in a new place, they would do the ritual, and apparently they'd have these small egg-like balls made from precious stone, and that would be part of the ritual, like bones and stuff like that, like I use. And then they'd just what? It's just an old custom.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, like holy water. You're weirding me out, Aurelio.
I look at Abram like with my eyebrows raised at the sealing in comment, and then I just kind of like shake my head.
Oh my god, not
away.
sealing in. The little
You said
eggs
sealing.
weren't supposed to take on the evil spirits. It was supposed to banish them.
Oh.
Yeah, Rosemary looks very satisfied that she's like done this practice, by the way. She's like smiling and stuff like that. She's like, yeah, this is fine.
So
Yeah, I did my work.
Aurelio was just kind of like trying to understand what happened because again he didn't see anything.
Yeah, well, that's just it. Nothing appeared to have happened. It's the
Yeah,
exact same
so
thing
he's
as
like,
going to a tarot
so-
card reading and having someone put on all the tarot cards. Like, it's just that. It just happened. Exactly what you saw. And she seems very satisfied.
Well, then
Listen,
job.
magic isn't
job.
all flashy lights and stuff like that.
I mean, I feel better, so I think whatever you did, it worked.
Yep. Thank you. I take great
Abram
pride
rolls
in
his
my
eyes at Aurelio.
I mean, listen, he's not gonna be mean to the lady.
Oh, of course not.
By the way,
Two-faced.
Aurelio, I really liked the yellow you gave me.
I'm glad. That touched Aurelio, and he's like, oh.
You guys see the cat comes out from wherever it was hiding on the roof.
Oh, the most important part of our family.
I crouch down and I
Isn't
give
that
him
the one
a
that
cute little pet.
It avoids you and runs behind Rosemary.
Wait, who
Oh.
did it avoid?
What? Nix. All
Oh
of you.
my god.
No, it
She
made a wide it
stands.
made a wide clearing around you guys. It was hidden when you guys arrived, so you didn't see it, and now that this is all over, it runs behind Rosemary.
I rolled a 20 for nothing.
Oh my
That's a
god.
little weird.
This is peculiar. I was out of character.
See, now Aurelio's starting to believe because the cat is out of character.
Oh my
No,
god.
it's all true.
Guys, you have a train to catch.
Abram
Right.
goes to fucking go down the stairs. He's not missing this goddamn train.
Nix follows closely behind Abram. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good
she
luck.
says behind.
Good luck. Thank you for everything you've done.
I wave and run after Abram and Nix.
Even now, the seed of their evil deed germinates within them, says the cat.
Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm gonna just for you guys, because I love you. You guys should go get the train now. But like, if you had one more thing you were desperate to do before you left Tenby behind forever, I will allow it.
Can I give Jacqueline my number?
You do.
Yay.
You did it before you left the garage.
Can I give Rosemary my number?
You do it. Though,
Nice.
admittedly, numbers are very finite. She gives you her number because
My
you don't
number
have a
is 3.
phone.
Can I
You can ask for people's numbers, but you cannot give them yours.
Can I
because-
have asked
Okay.
for the chief's mailing address?
Yes, you noticed it on your way out the door, and you're fully aware of how to possibly mail him a letter in the future.
Okay, sweet, cool.
If you can get a
Nice.
letter to Tenby, and by extension,
Yeah, why not? You know,
Okay.
space mail.
space mail. Yeah, don't worry, we'll get there.
Thing.
You
Space
guys are
mail.
only in the first town, trust me.
Hmm.
Okay, so you guys head down to the train station.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You see smoke and
Holes in front of you as you wait on the end.
Be quiet,
I
DM.
can't hear
The train
What?
He was killed by the train.
Goodbye, DM.
And you guys are now standing in front of this train that's now pulled up in front of you. And a small man gets out of the front car and slowly, like impossibly,
Oh
you're
my
like, oh my god, like click of his cane, and he's taller than the other woman. He's like 5'6". He's slightly taller than Aurelio. And he's slowly walking down towards you guys. And I'm going to give you the small mercy of saying that he then gets there and he's in front of you. Because it's been minutes. I haven't seen you for a few days, Pinky.
I pushed Abram out of the train.
Abram nods to him. Hey.
And he's like got his conductor's cap and his jean overalls. Who's the other two?
Nix.
Nix.
He nods to Nix. Aurelio nods to Aurelio.
And Nix has her bike.
And bike.
And basket of yellows.
Are you looking to put that on my train, miss?
I was hoping to be able to.
You're lucky.
Oh.
You're lucky that I got a call saying to get you out of town as fast as I could.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are correct. Over there. He points with his cane, and there's this big, beefy machine. It's like a bulldozer, except with hands. And it makes the grabby hand action like towards your bike. And it's slowly like rolling over on its own, and then it reaches down, and like these two big clamps clamp down on the front half of the bike and the back half of the bike by the wheelbases, and just heave it up and onto a flat bed part of the train. And then after it's done with that, it starts loading into like boxes, crates, barrels, into as many flatbeds, orifices, cargo containers as it possibly can. It's Reggie Steele, actually.
God.
So, all aboard.
Thank you.
Abram gets
And
the fuck on.
Nyx gets on the train.
All right.
Yeah, I get on the train.
It's 12:30. You hear the whistle blow, and then slowly the train lurches forward, and your cargo slowly begins to ride on its own, and then Nyx puts down the brake, and then hits the kickstand, and then buckles it down, hopefully.
Yep.
And you guys are all standing on this flatbed between another flatbed in front of you, and then behind you is like a big boxcar with like a ladder on the side for getting into. And you guys slowly move forward, gently going down the rail line until you are out of the station and onto a bridge about 20 feet above the dirt surface below. And you guys are driving off over the town of Tenby. And eventually the sand starts to come up to meet you guys. And you guys begin to start circling your way out of Tenby like a spiral.
No.
No, it's not that long of a spiral. It's like 1/16 of a spiral, but like you're gently curving away, and you see the town of Tenby shimmering in the desert light high overhead. Its radio station off in the distance, where presumably Mr. Charisma lives, and all of its various occupants that you guys have met. And you guys are headed out east, southeast, down the deserts. Your orb quivering. Waiting.
Wait, what?
It's been about 6 hours. 6 hours, you guys have just been traveling down the line. You see the ravines at some point. You see deserts rolling off in the distance. You see some people who look nomadic, covered in what looks to be shawls, but they're not looking too well. They're just walking through the desert. You can see like their footprints have been walking off in the distance, and they just disappear over the horizon. They've been going so far. You see places where the railway looks like it would split, and you'd go down left or right, and presumably they go someplace. But sometimes you see a switch area, and it's just buried deep beneath sands. As you guys get to the more desert area, rolling dunes that are as high as ocean waves, you see that planted alongside the railroad are these tall red reeds, perhaps as tall as Aurelio, maybe a little shorter. And they are just this thick forest that goes out about 50 to 100 yards, just alongside the railway.
Do I recognize those as the ones from the Tenby market?
You do. You recognize them as river reed. And they're just being grown in large, gigantic bushels. That doesn't look like there'd be any kind of like a method or order. They just seem to be put there definitely on purpose. The "You are now leaving Tenby" sign passes you by. Yeah, you guys keep going. Does anybody have anything that they want to say? Or do? The sun is blistering, and you guys do have a cargo cart to hide in behind you, but I'm not going to say that you have to stay in there the entire time. Many of you might enjoy the feeling of the air against your skin as you work your way back towards the towns that you are more familiar with in the case of Nyx, and, well, others of you are leaving for someplace far, far away.
Any yellows?
I don't know, but you better eat them soon. They don't keep long.
I have 3. I offer a yellow to everybody, and when I offer it to Nyx and Abram, I go, sorry for causing it. And I just hand it to them, walk over a little further away from them to give space to eat yellow, because I don't got space.
Alright, you deposit your yellows into everybody's hands. They're delicious, very ripe.
But I keep the basket.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. You guys eventually pull up to another switch, one that heads left and one that heads right, and you actually see a small station. It's populated by nobody, but it has actual several towns labeled on a district sign. To the left and to the right, and at this point you are now located here on your journey. It's been several hours. The sun is actually beginning to set. And far, far off in the distance to the south, and the sun setting into the east, as the stars begin to come out, you can see just over the horizon this like thin black line. And as you guys keep heading more and more southward, and closer to the mysterious black line, it's begun to thicken, and you see these bright lights, and this huge thing finally reveals itself to be like what looks to be a structure. And at intermittent points up and down it are these large stations that blink with lots of amounts of light, and they look like galaxies in their own right.
Nyx glances up and then looks back down at her bike.
That's probably not going to get you to space, sweetheart. Says the conductor, who's right behind you.
Wait, what?
No, really. Yeah, he's there.
I thought he was.
Oh, it's
Stuffing.
it's automated.
Oh.
I own the train, but I don't need to be in the conductor's seat the whole time. How the fuck does this man talk?
I'm not going back to space for a very long time.
No, I understand. I like to keep my boots on the ground as well there, sweetheart.
Aurelio kind of looks at Nyx and goes, "Wait, back to? You've been in space before?"
The
I travel.
The conductor's like checking the cargo. Basically, he has like a list in his hand, and he's got a pen, and he's checking off everything.
I travel, and that's how I got my licenses for mechanics. And I also lived in space for a while.
What's it like up there?
Empty.
Cold.
Yeah, you guys, it's a beautiful picture.
Very
But-
loud if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Abram grunts.
And depending on where you're facing, you can see as far out as possible.
Oh yeah,
Galaxies and
real.
stars of galaxies and stars of different colors. Neighboring space nations.
Are you telling me all of you guys have been in space?
Oh yeah, many a time.
You haven't been in space?
Never left Sargasso.
I grew up in space.
Grew up in space?
Yeah. Is that
Like
weird?
just like in a ship? Just in a What do you mean?
Not a ship.
Abram glances at Nyx. What then?
Station.
Like the Lunaris kind? Like that kind of thing?
I don't want to talk about it.
Abram narrows his eyes, but he looks back out off the whatever outside.
Oh, you two
Aurelio just holds
youngins.
up his hands.
You keep to your own business, young man. Don't you go pressing a young lady for information on herself.
Abram gets up to go get some air, like wherever he would stand to do that.
Alright. You climb back up the cargo crate behind you, and you're like 10 feet higher than the other people, and if you walk back, you're immediately unseeable over the crest of the box. And the stars are all coming out one by one, and you guys can very much so clearly see ahead of you this towering structure that goes so high up that you cannot see where it ends.
What the fuck?
Say that out loud.
He says it in his head.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you can talk. It's okay.
Well, he wouldn't say what the fuck, but he does stare at it.
Okay. If you want, you can try to roll, like,
Yeah, I'll
insight
roll.
or
I'll
history.
roll one.
Probably insight, because you wouldn't know anything about the local history. Nyx might, though, if she wants to roll history and then explain it to you guys.
Well, there's my roll.
Okay. What you see in front of you guys, like miles out, like it's still crazy far away. It's just by sheer virtue of its size, you're able to see it from your location before even the rest of the city, is a space elevator. And that's all you know. You just know what it is. You don't know why it's there, what built it, how it came to be. You know nothing besides you've seen this before. And you know that the lights generally in a perfect geometric line up into the sky and then terminating at some unknown vanishing point tend to reveal themselves to be space elevators.
And Aurelio sees those.
Do I?
Aurelio, I wouldn't be surprised if you aren't just transfixed by this sight.
Okay, I'm just staring at it, mouth open, eyes wide.
The engineer laughs and pushes your shoulder.
That snaps me out of it, I guess, and I just goes, does that go all the way, does that all the way up?
How far? Yeah. I don't know how high up is up to you, but probably all the way. Past orbit. Past up, at least 22,000 miles at least.
Where does it lead? Just space, obviously, but...
There's a station at the top. They call it the Jacob Project. They built it in the wave of the Pavo Station incident. I guess you could say it replaced the station. It goes up and up and up and makes it very easy to leave the planet. All you gotta do is buy a ticket and get your ship put in one of the elevator slots. Though I'm sure that's expensive as all hell.
Okay.
How much are tickets?
No, more than I make.
How big are the elevators?
You can see it from here, right? That's hundreds of miles away. It takes up at least a quarter of the city.
How do you get in?
Know the right people.
What are you talking about, old man?
Hey, I'm just saying. It's meant for people to do trading. Mining people bringing ores, spice people bringing spices, food people bringing food, and, people bringing people.
People bringing people?
People bringing people.
What kind of people are we bringing people?
Workers. Soldiers.
Fuck.
Anybody
Slaves?
who's useful. I mean, you could just buy your way on, or maybe someone will owe you a favor, who knows?
Okay, I see.
I see scholar
Either
people
way.
mostly going up and down. Is that lady?
Either way, it's very important to know people.
Very.
Aurelio just
How
kind of
long was
nods
the
his
wait
head.
list?
That's not a long wait list, you just gotta have priority.
Hmm.
How do we get priority?
Know the right people.
You got money, kid? Well, think about how much it would cost to buy a spaceship. Do you know how much a regular ship for the ocean would cost?
Roughly.
Triple it. Quadruple it. That's just for the ship.
Depends on how nice you want it to.
And he points at Nyx. The elevator makes it so you don't need to have all that fancy stuff for going through the atmosphere and down again. You can just buy a ticket, so I guess it's cheaper in that regard. Maybe if you're planning on buying a ship, buy it cheap and save some of the money for a ticket. I mean, you're gonna need papers too. Visas, passports, IDs.
Passports?
Yeah, passports. Listen, I'm not the transport agent.
Right, but have you been there before? Curious.
Oh, me? Yeah, I've been there. I came down it and I never went back up.
It must be pretty heavily guarded, huh?
Oh, Lunaris has a garrison pointed right outside it just to make sure nobody comes any harm to it, though nobody in their right mind would try to. That thing's one of the lifebloods of this planet. There's only one other one on the planet, and that's in Mos Visa, other side of the continent.
So why did you stay?
Oh, I don't really know. I was one of the people displaced during the war 40 years back. You know, against the genome soldiers. Whatever they're calling them.
Aurelio kind of curls his lip.
I wanted to retire. I wanted to go someplace quiet, and I don't know, Sargasso. It just seems to kind of collect people. It attracts. It's a nice enough place. I bought a train. I had good business going for a while, and now I got Lunaris paying me to transport things all around. Business is good. Tenby is pushing out west more and more every day.
I guess that makes sense.
Now, unless you got another question, you'll have to excuse me. I gotta go count some boxes.
Sure, thank you for your time.
And he does. And he goes and counts his boxes.
I'd like to go back. Nick says.
Where?
You guys hear water, but continue.
Out. Maybe.
Vegas?
Yeah. Why not? I've been to 3 planets while training. I think 3.
What made you stay on Sargasso for so long?
Business is good.
Right.
I get little, but they always return to me.
The train slows down noticeably. You guys like pull a little bit of a lunge forward, and you guys catch yourself. As you look down, you see that the train has plunged into water.
Oh.
And
Wait.
it only comes up like halfway up the wheels, and you can see you can see the rails shining beneath the stars, underneath the water, perhaps like wading up to your shins, and the train is just plowing through water. And then you hear like some more like bumping sounds. You see that there's like wood planks buried beneath the water that also like help supply the train's rails with some kind of actual place to stand on, because sand shifts. You look out to your left and right, and you see water. You see a field of water. There's no waves. It's all still. Left and right, blue and blue.
Can I look to see what's actually like being held in this cargo like area?
Yeah, if you want, you go
Like
through.
just
A lot of them are boxed up things. You can look through some of them, and a lot of it's food, fuel, oil, machine parts. You see like what looks to be like granite, sand. You see one box it's fucking huge, massive. It's like the size of a sedan. You're checking like 2 cars over, by the way, and
Yeah.
it's full of these light blue crystals. And that seems to be like one of the biggest things that is in this vehicle.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, and you see more of the river reed, which is also growing up in thin sprouts around you guys. It's less so. It's no longer like on both sides of the vehicle, like it was in the middle of the desert. But it sprouts along the water pretty easily. And then you hear the whistle, and I'm trying to figure out if I should do this to you guys because it's getting late.
Don't blow the whistle in our ears,
Don't
please.
blow the whistle in your wheels. No, okay. But your passive perception indicates that Abram and Nyx noticed that there's a sound of motors off in the distance.
And I just don't hear that.
The water stops, the wood stops, and you're back out into more
Please
deserted
help
Oh,
me.
plains.
please.
And you guys reach this bend in the water.
Abram, I'm sorry.
This bend. Yeah, and you hear motors, and they're coming closer. Abram, you look out over the horizon, standing up on top of your cargo place, possibly still looking at the space elevator, who knows. But approaching from the south, you see you see 3 wheels. and they jump over the deserted dunes and then down again. They're sliding up. They're throwing up like dirt and sand behind them as they go. And you hear yelling. And then
Does anyone relay this to me?
I will as soon as I get all the information.
nice.
Maybe.
They drive very close to the vehicle, very fast, and you see that they are armed.
Great.
Oh, good. Abram jumps back down the whatever the fuck he was up on, and tells people that we got a problem.
Great.
You hear a bumping
What?
sound.
What's the problem?
This
What's going on?
A wheel like climbs up the side of the cargo box that you guys are standing on. The wheel has like claws situated at every like half foot along the outside of this wheel, and it like digs into the metal, peeling it back like a nail, and it climbs up the side of the cargo thing and onto the top. And you see a man dressed all in black tattered cloth in the center of this wheel, riding it like a motorbike.
What the fuck?
Stop, Barkley?
No. And he looks at you guys, and he seems surprised, and then he reaches to his side and pulls out a gun and fires at the person who is nearest, who would probably be Abram.
Oh, good. Can I dodge?
Roll initiative.
Yeah.
What does this guy look like again?
Black
do we-
cloth, big, thick black goggles, and it looks to be like a gas mask
Okay,
around his
so we
mouth.
don't know what he looks like.
No. You mean, it
don't.
looks like a man, but no, you're hundreds of miles away from where Barkley lives. Everybody remember your
Initiative,
own.
just a
Right.
flat roll, or
What? It's your initiative
what
roll.
is it again?
It's
I don't know how do I do that?
your
I
roll
forgot.
plus dexterity.
Whoops. Here we go.
Whoa.
Hmm
We're all dead.
Yeah, you're not doing great, boys and girls.
God, I could have died,
Could
okay.
have. You might still be
but I
dead.
didn't. I was too preoccupied trying to tell my comrades that we were getting fucking robbed.
Oof.
Oh no!
Okay,
Oh,
so
no.
he fires at Abram with his pistol, and Abram like ducks down very quickly and slides underneath the bullet as it flies overhead, whistling by as it goes. And then alongside the car, the two other people also driving these big one-wheel bike. They're like giant wheels that are like 5 feet, 6 feet tall, like diameter, and they're in the center of them, and there's like a motor between their legs driving this wheel. And it's got
Yeah.
claws that dig into the desert sands. And they yell something. You don't recognize the tongue.
Great.
And then it fires at Leo, and it hits
No.
him square in the shoulder,
I'm dead.
and it does 6 damage.
I am
The
dead.
fuck? Don't die.
Please
What do you
help.
mean you're dead?
I
I'm not completely dead. I'm just really, I'm really hurting.
I yell out Aurelio's name in shock.
Oh, God.
And then the other one
My
takes
gay
out a
lover.
pistol and fires at Nyx,
yeah.
and it careens through her her hip, and it does 4
Ow.
What
damage
the fuck
to
is
her.
happening?
They all rolled better initiative than you. The conductor is
I
screaming.
did not get it. Oh
Is-
god.
For how many hit points?
4 hit points.
Alright. Great.
Off in the distance, the elevator beckons with its beacony lights. It beacons like a
beacons.
verb.
She
It's
brought-
now
she brought out
it's
her
now
tool.
Leo's turn.
Oh, great. So, where are they in location to me?
One is on the car. Oh, if only there was perhaps some kind of like thing that we could use.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah!
I missed it.
The grid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now let's see what I
We
have
get
in
our
terms
grid.
Love the grid. I love the grid for combat.
Yeah, me too. Alright,
So
what
we drag.
Oh, let me drag my boyo.
of. Drag your boyos out.
How do I do
drag.
anything?
Oh, I need.
I
drag.
guess I'll use this.
Oh my god.
Wait,
need to.
You
negate
guys are
some
on
of my
this
health.
car.
I don't even know where the hell I am.
Which car?
This car.
Doesn't matter. I'm almost dead anyway.
It doesn't
God.
matter. You're there. You're not that close. Everybody back up. You're on the edge. Leo, you might be on the ground. You might be here on the linking Actually, I'm gonna manually control
Okay,
where y'all are. Leo, I mean not Leo. Abram, I need you to get on the board.
I don't know how, Father.
Click and drag yourself.
Click and
onto
drag
the,
yourself.
I don't see myself.
Go to the
This
journal
self?
section. Yeah, the characters, the journals. You got your pink
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. Maybe.
Pinky.
Pinky.
Pinky. Come on.
Will he make it?
All right,
Yes.
Pinky, you're here.
Yay!
All right, it's Leo's turn. Leo, you know where you are. Up here is 10 feet above you, connected by a ladder. This one to the right is a flatbed, where the motorcycle of a young miss is.
I am. Okay. So there's someone in our car, and then 2 people outside of our car.
I mean, you guys are on top of.
Oh, we're on top of.
I mean,
Oh.
you're not. You're on the ground. You're on the flatbed.
Okay, I'm on the flatbed and they're
You're
on the ceiling?
You're on the connecting trestle. What are you talking
Okay.
about? Am I
Or
having...
on the ceiling. I'm on the trestle. I'm trying to get like a grip of where people are. I'm on like a lower ground thing.
You are
and then
10
Nix
feet
and
below
Abram
the other two.
are- okay.
I jumped down.
Okay, well then he's there with you. Congratulations.
Yes.
You're both on the
Okay.
trestle together.
Friend. Okay, so Nix is up there by herself.
Thanks.
I guess I shoot at this guy. I'm aiming for like
Do it.
his knee or something.
He's
you know?
driving a
Okay, I'm
mono
aiming-
wheel.
Wait, he's driving a what?
He's driving like a motorcycle, but it's just
Okay.
one big wheel that surrounds him.
Yeah, I'm aiming for his arm, I guess. I don't know, something that like isn't his head or like a vital point, but like
That's
just,
fine. Go for it. You can declare non-lethal damage and just make it happen.
Yeah, not lethal, but like dead.
Okay, well,
But like fuck him up. What? Do I add anything to my accuracy?
your accuracy is plus your dexterity.
I got 13.
Why?
You nail him in the side of the shoulder, and you do how much damage?
I don't know. 1d.
1d6. So just gotta
It's
roll it.
1d8, right?
Roll that for me.
It says 1d8. It
What?
says 1d8 right here.
Okay, sure. I'll check that later, but yes, sure.
I have it written on my sheet. There's no erase marks, I swear.
Okay. Are you sure?
It's what I have written down.
Maybe it's because it's a nail gun? I don't know why.
Maybe.
I have
remember
1d8 for
I
damage on nail
changed.
gun. I have 1d6 from 9.
Okay, sure. We'll leave it the way it is for now.
Oh.
I don't know why it's that, but that's what it says on the little sheet.
Okay.
You
do
can
6
change it
damage.
if you want to.
It's fine. I remember changing the sword that Abram has to 1d8, but I don't
Yeah.
remember doing that.
I haven't
to the-
changed any.
Well, that's
I don't-
fine. We'll figure it out. I'll say yes for now. It's totally good. Don't worry about it. We're feeling.
Okay,
it.
because I don't
It's
want to
not
do too much damage, if you
No,
feel me.
no, it's fine. I wish you had more health and did less damage, but that's fine.
Right now I have, like, none health.
All right, Nix's turn.
Alright, so I am going to shoot the guy that is closest to me, who is right here. Because he... Which one shot me? That one?
What? The one directly? Oh yeah, no, that one shot Abram. This one shot
Oh.
you.
That
They're
one
like
shot me?
they're like on level with you because they're on top of like dunes.
Alright, I'm
that are
gonna...
alongside the train.
I'm shooting the one that shot me
Do it.
with my gun.
Your gun.
With gun.
You miss him. It bounces and makes a spark off the giant wheel that he is within. And now it's to Abram.
Okay. Abram
Please
is
save
just
me.
dexterity.
Dexterity and your roll 20, whatever you got. I know it's been a long time since we did some combat, huh, guys?
Yeah, so it's just
don't
my roll plus my dexterity, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Oh, I'm shooting, fuck. The one that, are we killing? Are we killing or trying to not kill?
That's your prerogative. Leo
Abram,
appears not to be
Abram
trying
likes
to
killing,
kill.
but I didn't know if out of character we wanted anyone alive.
Oh, Leo just doesn't...
Okay, Abram's killing the guy that, Aurelio shot at
Go
already.
for it. Is he gonna whip out his sword
If
and run
I
at him or
no,
shoot?
I'm gonna jump across the sand.
Yes!
No, I'm just shooting at the guy that
Hijacker.
Aurelio
How much
shot.
damage do you do?
I do 3,
All
I
right.
guess.
That was
Yeah. My pistol.
The same one that you shot. Or yeah, okay, this guy.
This one, right? Yeah.
That one. Nice. Okay. He, like, a lot of blood, like, sprays out of his shoulder because you have, like, a real gun. Like, yeah, Aurelio, like, hurt him very badly.
Doesn't really do the same.
It was meant to, like, it was a subduing shot, but Abram, you, like, blast through it. You, like, sinew and the shoulder, and, like, he grips at it, and the wheel, like, swerves, like, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the man on the roof with you guys, the top of his gun, like, breaks open, and a shell jumps out, and then he puts another one in and closes it, and then he takes a shot at... He can't see you, because you slid down there, so he shoots Nyx.
Oh my god. Nyx, please, God, don't die.
And Nyx, you look square at him, his barrel is lined up right between your eyes. He has an intent to kill, and he fires directly at you. And this blue lightning bolt shoots out from, like, the harness that's around your torso and intercepts the bullet and turns it into, like, vapor. And this this row
Survive and thrive.
This row of hexes appears around you, just above your skin. And there's this flash of orange light as this bullet is turned to slag and then vapor in front of your eyes.
Nice.
And then this person drives directly at Abram. He turns his wheel, he buries his foot down in the desert sands, and the wheel turns towards you, and it flies at you, and the teeth bite into the connecting point. And then you barely dodge out of the way. You take one step to the left, and it bites into the floor and tears up metal, and it flies right between Leo and Abram, and out the other side.
Great.
And onto the other side of the thing. And then this person that was shot earlier buries his foot down into the sand and veers right out into the desert, and then he disappears over the dunes.
Get the fuck out of here.
And now it is back to Leo.
Oh, great. I don't even think I can hit him.
You can
Where
use your
he is.
movement action to, like, try and get... Oh no, this is a flatbed.
Bleeding everywhere.
To the right is a flatbed. To the left is climbing up to where Nyx is.
Well, I don't think I can climb in the position that I'm in. I'd have to, like, go around.
Abram would require double movement.
Yeah. So I just go over here.
Do it.
You.
Feel it.
And I aim for the wheelie man over here.
Mm-hmm. Show me what you got.
All non-lethal.
Anybody who's watching the YouTube version of this, please judge me not for my choice of icons. Listen, we all have to have something to represent the various characters.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
Mm-hmm. How much damage you do? Gotta roll that 1d6.
Yeah.
1d8, sure.
You want me to change it? I can
No,
change
it's
it.
fine. I'm just forgetting is all. I forget between rolls.
Roll a 7.
Okay, you nail him right in the side of the thigh, and his wheel veers to the right, and then bounces off the side of the thing, and he like smashes his shoulder against it, and you hear a loud grunting sound from beneath these like gas mask things, and like the goggles like on his head swing into the side of the flatbed and shatter.
Oh man, those are probably expensive.
And he's like gripping at the side of his leg. No, none of them looks what you would say expensive at all. Everything looks like
to me?
Gucci. No. He looks terrible. Like bandages
Oh,
are
even-
holding
like,
together
even
his
to me?
clothing. He looks
Okay.
even worse than you.
Oh, okay, then man,
Yeah.
you look like shit.
He does. Looks terrible. And now we're back to Nyx.
I'm gonna shoot this dude.
Please kill him.
I want to. I want to so
Do
bad.
it. Do it. Go for it.
Gone.
Gone. You don't hit him. He ducks
Oh
his
my
head
God.
down, and
These guys.
you're
God.
actually You're supposed to have disadvantage on your arm.
What?
Because your weapon is
Because your arm
in
has
your
a
forearm. So no matter what you would
See
miss.
what your charity has gotten you.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm leaving. I'm
Kill.
leaving.
Okay, yeah, you can use your movement action. 5,
10.
10, 15, 20. Abram is
Sorry,
double
I don't
movement.
know why.
You can move
25.
30 feet. 25.
I'm a meat shield now. Don't worry. You're okay.
I'm leaving there.
All right,
I'm
you're there.
sitting there.
You're feeling it. Now it's Abram's turn.
I will engage this train man.
Okay.
How many does it cost more to get up on top or
5, 10. Yeah,
what's the gun's range? Or maybe I should hit him with my sword. Is he like right there that I can
He's
go over
right
and-
exactly where he is. He's like in the dead center of this cargo thing, sitting in
Okay.
his partially sitting in his wheel.
Yeah, how close do I have to be to hit him with things?
Within 5 feet. You can do it with you can move 30 feet every turn. So you're within.
Sure. Wait, do I have to be like right here? Or does it matter?
Right there.
Okay, good. Let's see. Do I have to aim with my sword to hit him?
You do, unfortunately.
Okay.
You
that's
can
fine.
add either your strength or your dexterity, though, I guess, for this. I guess, what would it be? I guess it'd be strength for this, because it's a melee weapon, so you would be adding your strength now instead of your dexterity.
Sure. Let's
Which
hope
you
that
still
isn't
have a positive.
terrible. Yes.
You take out your sword, unsheath it, and you bring the blade into the side of him, and it is caught on his own blade that he has just unsheathed.
Oh my god, fucking sword fight. Okay.
And now we're down to him.
Mm-hmm.
He throws off your sword, and then steps out of the car towards you, and swipes up with the blade, and it just barely glances by your hair, and it maybe takes off like a part of a lock.
Excuse you.
His counter barely missing you. And now it is down to the man on the right.
What the fuck is happening? Mm-hmm.
The man on the right, he digs his foot into the ground, and you hear him yelling something in a tongue that you do not understand, like, "Oh yeah, it's my underme." And then he just wheels back over, and he tries to circle around and dives right towards Aurelio.
On his
On his wheelie
Office.
dealy.
no.
Yep. And he bellows through you, and you
Does he?
you jump
Okay.
forward 5 feet, and it swipes between you and Nyx, and it
Okay.
bites into the ground, and right over the back wheel of Nyx's vehicle. And the vehicle like bounces,
Wreck your vehicle.
and then he flies southwards, and out over the dunes.
Why?
Later.
And now it's Nyx's turn. No,
Alright,
I'm sorry,
gonna
it's
go-
Leo's turn.
Oh.
Okay. 5, 15. Next.
Sorry.
Is it authority to get up here?
5, 10,
Yes.
15, 20, 25, 30, yes.
Okay.
Moving up moving up does not take double action, it's just however far it is, so it's a 10-foot ladder.
Alright. So I aim at the dude that Abram fighting?
Okay, don't roll a 1.
Don't roll a 1.
I can't. Because I have a modifier.
Well, critical miss is a critical miss.
Gotta have this down. Yeah.
Alright, what are you
Nice.
doing to this man?
I'm decapitating with no,
Decapitating.
just non-fatal damage. I wanna talk to him.
Alright, shoot him.
Why? We can't understand him.
I mean
He might know or common or whatever.
Call it
I
whatever
almost
you
rolled
want, it's
1d28. 1d8.
fine. Alright, you do
Powerful.
6 damage to him, you nail him right in the collarbone with a nail that's like jutting out of him, and he falls backwards into his vehicle.
Nice.
And now it's Nyx's turn.
I'm gonna go 5, 10, 20.
Hello?
You cannot occupy the same space. Okay, nice.
30. And I'm gonna. What do I have?
Is he down for the count yet? Or...
No.
Okay.
That's the first time anybody's hit him.
Oh.
Is you shooting
I
him in
am
the collarbone
going
right
to.
there.
I'm gonna throw my dagger at him.
Okay.
Dagger time.
That's a 1d.
And I don't get advantage at this because I.
Nope. I'm afraid you throw it and it bounces off like a leather coating, like a leather bracer around his wrist, and it flies up into the air and then embeds itself in the surface of the cargo carrier.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go get that later.
It is Abram's turn.
Okay. I'm still using my sword, but I'm going to switch to non-lethal damage if I manage to hit him.
Okay.
Okay, you
Thank
said
you for declaring that before striking.
Yeah.
1d20 plus your strength.
Oh shit.
Okay, you swing down, and he parries it with his own blade. It's a shocking mirror to your own, actually. It's like a saber cutlass thing, except in far worse repair. And your blade just bounces into the front.
I
of his
notice anything
motorcycle.
about these guys at all?
You notice that they look like dirty marauders. Their vehicles are not in good repair. Their weapons are not in good repair. Their clothing is just tattered black, and it does not seem like any form of uniform in any shape or form. None of them were dressed similar. They were dressed similarly, but they were not dressed identically. And even the weapons. He's got a single shot pistol.
Okay.
And a very worse for wear sword.
Okay.
That's what you notice about them. And then they've got thick goggles that look like they've been just repurposed from like flight goggles or something.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, and now it's back to him, and he takes his hand out, and he's still standing outside his vehicle, and he revs the motor of his vehicle, and the wheel spins to life, and it sweeps around, and I'll let you decide. You can either do a dexterity saving throw to avoid getting hit, or you can just try to have it fight against your AC.
Dexterity save.
Yeah, that'd be a U roll, and then we'll see based on that.
That's still off of a d20, right? Plus all my shit.
If you're proficient in that saving throw because of your class, then you can also add your proficiency bonus, which would be 2.
I am quite proficient, apparently. And it doesn't matter because I fucking rolled a 2. Well, I'll roll 2.
Alright, he drives the wheel like drives itself, and it just flies around, and one of the claws catches you in the side of the face, and it takes a big gash out of your cheek.
Oh.
And it does 6 damage to you.
Ow, my face is
That's a
gone.
big god.
I'm missing my entire cheek. You can see my teeth through my face now.
No, he's dead. Jim. And then he jumps on the vehicle, and then flies off the side of the cargo carrier, away.
I say we stop there.
And then you stop there. A small conductor like steps out from behind a box and goes, "Whoa, that was fucked up."
I'm laying on my side.
Make sure you
Dead.
write down how much HP you guys have for next time.
Again,